Coming to you live from it's right in front of the camera, dude. It's professional. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we wanted to talk about, inflation. Really hot topic right now in our society. I know a lot of people, families, individuals have been hit hard by the rises in prices of gas, food, all kinds of commodities. And so we just wanted to make a video to encourage and also maybe to offer some practical help for people, whether you're married or single. One of the things that I think is more important than ever is the need to have a budget that you make on a either weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis that you can adjust as necessary as things continue to either improve or get worse. God willing, they don't get worse, but you never know. But it's important. That way you can, see where your money's going. You can make adjustments as necessary. A lot of people don't realize how much they might spend on Starbucks coffee or eating out or this or that they can easily adjust their spending so that they can still, have enough to pay their bills and pay for the necessities of life, really. If you're single, very important that you do that, It's all on you. You don't have to juggle another person's necessarily opinion or want or needs, or those of multiple if you have kids. It's just yourself, right? So, depending on where you're at with your finances, I would encourage you to do that. Inflation is just something that unfortunately is affecting us all. And I believe it's going to continue to affect us for a good while before things probably turn around. Also, encouragement for married couples. It is so, common that one of the biggest strains on marriages is finances. Finances is a huge cause of, unfortunately, divorce. It's a huge cause of marital problems and strife. And it's important that you're on the same page as your spouse, as your wife, husband. So again, encouraging you to get together, have the tough conversations, because some of these conversations are going to be tough. We were on a certain budget when we first got to Texas, and it allowed for a lot more opportunities. Our money went further, but a year later, it's like, well, we have to reassess. And,
right.
All of a sudden, hey, we used to spend X amount on groceries and now it's increased X amount, and gas has increased X amount. Luckily, we both work from home, so gas is still relatively okay. But, I know a lot of you drive to work, or a lot of you have to commute a lot to a lot of places. Your basic toiletries, your basic, needs of the house, even to the extent like, we need another vehicle, but used cars in general, everything's gone up. If you want to fly, everything's more expensive. If you want to go rent a hotel, everything's more expensive. Everything across the board has altered and shifted. It's important and necessary that you have these talks, that you have this communication, that you have to have the difficult conversations. And sometimes that might mean to having to say, hey, we need to cut this out. Hey, you know how we always budgeted to eat out twice a week? We need to change that down to one. Or, and here's the other thing, get creative, find other sources of income, do YouTube, second job, whatever the case might be. Like, there are other things you can do out there to generate income and to help offset the increase that you're seeing in all of these different things. This is just an encouragement because, I know for a fact, based off of conversations that I've had with people, based on my own household, based on different things that I've read and seen, that this is putting a strain on people's lives, people's marriages, people's, mental health, whatever you want, you want to say. Like, it's putting a strain, and it's very challenging times. And so I just encourage you to don't run from the problem, face it, face it, get in front of those numbers, see where you're at, make an honest assessment, and then find a budget that first of all covers your needs, and then whatever wants don't make it on the list, and oh well, you're just gonna have to do without for now.
So we rejoice heavily in the fact that we worked really, really hard to be nearly debt-free. And I could not imagine what it would be like going through this current season of inflation, having to be concerned with making credit card payments or payments in addition to like our regular cost of living. And I know many of you are in that state, and I want to just encourage you. You do have the option to not pay them right now. And the only reason I say that is if it's affecting your being able to put food on the table because you're paying a credit card, maybe just consider putting that on pause for right now. We are coming from a place where we had to do that, but we paid off all of our debt entirely as far as credit card debt goes. So sometimes it's hard when you're in a place where you have these commitments, you feel as though you're failing, and it's just for a season. If you have the full intent of paying it back, then for right now, you could also pay less than what the minimum payment is. You just have to agree that you don't keep spending them. You don't keep using them. So that's just a little side note on the credit card topic or the debt topic. Obviously, don't go out and incur more debt. Don't charge or open more accounts, because that's going to catch up with you later. And I would hate for you to come out of this season of inflation and then have the residual effects, which we know very much about that experience. And it's really hard to get out of debt, especially when you are paying it in full instead of filing bankruptcy or doing something like that. As my husband mentioned, the budget, being very aware of where you stand financially, what your income is, like the baseline of your income, not based off of like, well, if I work this hard, I get this bonus. You can't spend based off of that. You can't budget based off of that. So what I do is I have just on an Excel sheet, a Google Excel sheet, I have it dated 1 through 31. And then I put all of the items that are due, and I roll it every single month. And I put all of the items that are due from the 1st all the way down to the 31st. And then of course, remove the dates that don't apply. And then I get my pay periods for that particular month, and then input where we're going to get paid. And I try my best, and this is the other encouragement, is to have your income versus your expenses being balanced, so that you're not paying everything on your first paycheck and then you don't have anything left for the remainder of that pay period. Having them balanced out, you can get creative in that way. You can also get creative with, as my husband mentioned, about toiletries and that type of thing. Many families have diapers and wipes and formula expenses. You could do formula and diapers and wipes, like formula on one pay period and diapers and wipes on the other. You don't have to do them on the same. The same thing applies for like your toilet paper and we'll say paper towels and napkins or something like that. So just it requires for you to watch and monitor what's coming in, what's going out a lot closer. But I want to encourage you that it can be done simply by kind of maneuvering some of those due dates. You can also request with some of those that you do have to pay, like for instance, our light bill or those commitments that you have no matter what. You can also see about moving their due dates, or let's just say if the date is the 7th, but you get paid on the 9th, be okay just paying it on the 9th for that time, but then you can recirculate it to be on the right pay period that you need it to be on. Our income that we currently have that's pretty stable every single month, with expenses that continue to increase. It's really, really hard to have a stable income and then watch this expense just continue to increase, and I have like no control over it. So instead of feeling that you're out of control with the current season that we're in, be encouraged that you can control certain things like your attitude, your communication with your partner, or obviously just being real with yourself if you are single. And I remember I felt so anxious talking to him about where we stood financially, because I felt like I was failing in how I was managing the things that we needed to buy. And he felt as though he couldn't provide enough. And so simply just putting those things out in the air, it really improves just the quality of your relationship. So yeah, just wanted to encourage you that you are not alone. It is really, really tough, even for someone like ourselves, where we have very little bills and expenses, but we do have a family of 6 with a lot of mouths that are hungry all day long. So we do understand that there's some legitimate need for evaluation and expenses that sometimes are exceeding what we have coming in.
Yeah. So yeah, just encourage you guys to, tackle the problem head on. We know it's a very real thing. I said earlier, it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better anytime soon. So prolonging it or kicking the can down the road isn't going to do you any favors. So yeah, get in there, get those budgets in order, do the assessments, do the hard work, monitor, as my wife said, and wish you all the best. And hopefully something turns around sooner than later.
Yeah. If you like this video or want to continue to see more videos like this, please like, subscribe, and share with your family and friends.
Thank you guys.